Greetings, friends. It's Dr. Jonathan Ellerby with another live 12 at 12. And today we are talking about why artificial intelligence might be good for the human soul. Now, this is a provocative topic because most people are concerned that artificial intelligence is going to rob us of our humanity, of our careers, and of a future where humans are in control at all. So let's take a breath, let's get centered, and then let's dive into this very curious opportunity that I think just might save the world as we know it. All right, deep breath in, let your eyes close. Big, long exhale. Really focus on that exhale. Release. Feel your body soften. Feel the muscles in your face relax. Another deep breath in. You're sitting comfortably but alert with your eyes closed. Long exhale. Really concentrate on the exhale till your stomach muscles contract. And then you will naturally take a belly breath, an abdominal breath, which calms the nervous system, allows your mind to move forward into the frontal cortex out of whatever stress or distraction you're experiencing today, and to just be in a better place to learn, to listen, and to face whatever comes after this. All right, when you're ready, you can open your eyes. So I remember in high school, I think it was the 12th grade, we were reading Hamlet. And if you don't know me, I've been interested in wellness and healing and spirituality since I was a kid, and I haven't done anything else in my life. I actually haven't studied anything else in my life. It has literally been decades of my lifelong passion in study and career. And we were reading Hamlet in English class, or what we call English class. And I remember there was this section with Polonius was his name. It doesn't even matter really. And there were all kinds of weird things going on in the castle. You know, Hamlet, if you don't know the story, it's pretty great, actually. It's about treachery and politics and, you know, backhanded dealings and murder and sex. It's got it all. But in the middle of this, or at the beginning of this really incredible work of literature, there was one phrase out of the whole book that haunted me. And I went back, I read it over and over. I underlined it over and over. I remember even writing it on a sticky note and putting it somewhere in my bedroom at the time. And let's see if I have it. He simply says, by indirection, find direction out. That's it. By indirection, find direction out. What does this have to do with artificial intelligence? Well, let me give you another analogy. It's a bit like playing the old game Battleship. Do you remember that? So when you play Battleship, you've got a board that your opponent can't see. You place ships on it. There's little pegs everywhere on the board except where your ships are. Okay, because your ships cover certain pegs. And then you try to guess where each other has placed their ships. So M25, I-13. Remember that game? It was a pretty good game. And if you have a hit, you tell your opponent, right? You have a hit, and they keep guessing back and forth. Now, not hitting the ship is just as important, sometimes more important, than hitting the ship. By finding all the places the ships are not, you can deduce by indirection where the ships are. Find direction out. Okay, now let's talk about social media, digital dependence, and artificial intelligence. The reality is that the detrimental or toxic effects of artificial intelligence and digital dependence are not a sci-fi future ahead of us. It is literally the condition of our world today. Now, when we think of artificial intelligence, we are often thinking about robotic arms that do a job instead of a person. We think about other kinds of I guess roles that artificial intelligence might take from humans. And those are reasonable things to be worried about, but there's something more significant, and it's already happening. In our digital interface today, it is precisely artificial intelligence, the advent of algorithms and thinking programs and platforms that can remember us, remember our profile, and more than that, anticipate our behavior, influence our behavior, learn from its effectiveness at influencing our behavior, and then apply that information automatically, without any humans involved, to anticipate and influence our behavior even better. Did you get that? So we're talking about when you shop on Amazon, when you search on Google, when you like something on Facebook, when you read something in the news, when you watch something on Twitter or pardon me, on TikTok, or read something on Twitter, every single behavior, every single choice, every single second that you spend on any of those things is recorded and internalized by an intelligent system. A system that is building a complex, detailed profile of who you are. And that is being used for all kinds of things. It's being used for advertising. It's being used not only to sell you more of what you want, it's actually being used to manipulate the presentation of things you don't want. So they'll look like things you want. It will also present you with more information and stories and influences that will lead you to believe that your version of the world is the right one, and that other people who think and feel, and in some cases maybe look differently, are wrong. It robs us of our opportunity for intuition, creativity, innovation, and most significantly, critical thinking. The digital platforms in our life are already thinking for us, and more significantly, for themselves. Now, this doesn't sound like bad news. I don't know what does. It's terrible news. What we're seeing as a result of this is that these platforms are manipulating our sense of health and wellness and safety. They are manipulating our sense of community and purpose. So we are seeing rates of depression, anxiety, and suicide skyrocketing in the user groups that dominate these platforms. We are also seeing the proliferation of conspiracy theories. We are seeing the proliferation of xenophobia, or the fear of strangers or foreigners. And all of these horrible outcomes are unconscious byproducts of the artificial intelligence embedded in the world that is feeding us information constantly. The climax of this point is not only do we see that there are these dangerous and in some cases even actually deadly outcomes, but it's all designed to keep us engaged more, distracted more. When we have a break while we're getting our tire changed or while we're waiting for an order, instead of walking around the block, instead of looking at the sky, instead of just closing our eyes and meditating or visualizing something beautiful, we are going to our phones. We're bored, we're distracted, and we are addicted. All right, got it? Polonius, disaster of the toxic technology? How could this possibly be the best thing that's ever happened for the human soul? Well, Here it is. If we look very directly and very specifically at all the qualities of life that we love and value, that technology cannot replicate, then we have a simple formula for restoring human wholeness and achieving experiences of deep, deep centeredness, deep, deep connection, extreme resilience, and extraordinary awareness. Let me say that again. If we look at all the things that artificial intelligence cannot do for us or with us, we will quickly come up with a list of things that are in fact the most important forces and factors to ensure not only a healthy, happy, vibrant life, but a sustainable future for all. You see, it is by indirection that we have the opportunity to find direction out. Just like that game of Battleship, in a strange metaphor, all those blank pegs, all those places where you're not hitting the bullseye, not hitting the ship, that is what the world of artificial intelligence, digital dependence, constant technological distraction, that's their domain. But if you want to know what the human soul is, just keep looking for health and happiness in that empty territory. And little by little, you will start to realize what you've lost. You'll realize what you've cut out. You'll realize what you've forgotten. And see it as little more than a bad habit. You can write a simple list for yourself, commitments each week with time commitments, with behaviors, with people's names, and you can reclaim the fullness of the human experience. In my wireless wisdom work, we have a model that helps reconnect people to some of the core things that make us most human, that make life most powerful and amazing, that technology can never take from us. They can only distract us from, that technology can never replicate. They can only show us the cost of losing them. Things like the experience of community, real community, sitting together, laughing together, working together. The experience of nature, not just looking at images of trees, but sitting under a tree, breathing the energy and the phytochemicals of trees. The experience of energy itself in life, the subtle energy that we experience in places, in things, in food, in people, in music, sensuality, the ability to engage all of our senses, not just sight and sound, but taste and touch and smell and sense of space and height and temperature, the fullness of the human experience. I could go on and on and on. But I encourage you to ask yourself, what can these devices not do for me? And isn't it interesting that we use the word device in psychology very often to talk about things that are associated with addiction? We have vices, right? We have devices. When we're on these things, we are called users, right? There's no other place we're called users except by drug dealers, right? We are the users. So think about it. What's your list? Try to write 5 things. 5 things that you love to do. 5 things that make you feel full, that make you feel like yourself, that do not require or cannot be aided by technology. And then build yourself a plan. How many hours a day are you going to shut that phone off so you can just be with whatever you're doing in the moment? How many times a week are you going to carve out for activities in which you are not distracted or wired up? A walk, learning a craft, painting. In fact, research on peak performance, spontaneous remission, and deep satisfaction in life all turn us towards the fact that the most important elements of a healthy, vibrant life cannot be provided for us on our computers, our phones, or our tablets. When you look at the research on spontaneous remission, you look at the research on centenarians, you look at the research on the happiest places to live, all this information tells us one thing: that a life of true health and happiness is a life in which we embrace what it means to be fully human, fully engaged. And that is something artificial intelligence will never be and can never do. And so let us be grateful for the way we can use these things and the way we shouldn't use these things. Let us be grateful for all the ways they turn us towards a better life and a better world for us all. So thank you. I hope to see you soon. And if you want any more information about who I am or what I'm doing, go to jonathanellerby.com. You can sign up for my newsletter. You can get a free book, a bunch of free downloads. And of course, please subscribe to this YouTube page. Peace out.